And again, Warren Spink has a hand in it. Andrew Zinni scores the goal. Not only are the fans winning on the terraces, the team are winning on the pitch. 2 goals in 2 minutes. 2-1 up, Preston Macedonia, and we've got an invasion on.
Comes out with the ball, Berishovic destroying! Oh! What a goal! Get out of here! That is outrageous! Stop! Karl Berishovic! Get around it! Writes his name in Preston folklore!
It's the winner! What a great goal by Kukulevski! The crowd has gone wild, ladies and gentlemen! The Preston Lions are the Premiership champions!
Skinderovic! Bell! It's there! Preston have done it! Through ball for Spink. He's in the box. Back for Cole. Cole square. Here's a chance for Smith. Smith, yes, it's there. Spink, Cole, Smith. Smith doing the damage. 1-0.
Good evening and welcome along once again to the Lions Den. It is a massive episode tonight. My name is Josh Parrish. I've got my new coach, Jakey Tchaikovsky, in the building, mate.
Thanks, Josh, for having me again.
Always a pleasure. Thank you for coming back for a second week. Glad we didn't scare you off first time round.
I was just giving the viewers what they want, really. Yeah. I'm here for them.
And we've got our senior women's head coach, Dan Foden, joining us. Dan, how are you, mate?
Not too bad, not too bad. The voice is almost back, maybe not quite, but almost back. So.
I mean, it was a big game on the weekend. We're going to delve into all of that, plus the massive signing that we just announced on the socials in Emma Checker. But first, I think we better start the show with the news of the day, which is that the 26-team shortlist for the National Second Division has been announced, the next stage along the process, and Preston has been included. So just on behalf of the club, just so proud to have this chance after all the heartache of 10 years ago and 10 to 15 years ago, and everything this club has gone through, to have this chance to elevate to a national stage. We're not there yet, of course. There's a long way to go, but just so proud of our community. And I've just been informed of a bit of a sound issue. Let's try that again. Look. The news has come through. Preston, 26 teams have been announced for the next stage of the National Second Division, and Preston is among them. So just so proud to have this chance to elevate this team to the national stage after all of the heartache and the near extinction of the club in recent seasons. Jakey, pretty impressive news, pretty exciting.
Oh, mate, very exciting. But can you actually enlighten me on what that means for us next? Like, where do we go from here, and what's the next stage?
We've been invited to submit further and partake in the process, and it'll be a more rigorous process of outlining everything that the club has to offer and whether it can satisfy everything from the facilities to the financials to all the rest. And then Football Australia will eventually make a decision on the final cut and how many teams they're going to be involved, and also what kind of format this is actually going to take, because you don't quite know that yet. But the fact that 26 teams have made this next stage makes you optimistic that we can get a full home and away sort of arrangement involved, rather than a kind of very limited sort of conference structure which has been banded out before. But we don't know any of that yet.
They haven't confirmed any amount of teams they want in the competition. It's just all up in the air at the moment.
It's up in the air.
Okay.
I think the range they gave was 10 to 16. I think it'll probably, using my powers of deduction rather than anything I know or have been informed about, probably say it'll end up around the 12 mark, plus or minus 2 teams. But we'll see what the final cut looks like. But it's just really exciting to be in the conversation, given how far this club has come. I mean, Dan, over the past decade or so.
Look, I saw the news pop out today, and I think that it's absolutely massive for Preston. I think there was 6 or 7 teams left from Victoria on that list, and given what we've been bringing to NPL in the last 3 or 4 seasons, I think that we stand a pretty good chance of putting our hat in the ring and being able to show what Preston is all about on the national stage. So.
Also, I should inform everybody that we've got Jimmy Gligga and Tommy Petkovsky coming up in the back half of the show. So make sure you stick around for that. That
Get
could
the
be,
popcorn.
that it could be the last episode of the Lions Den. We're not sure, but we are actually going to be trying a new thing, which is the Lions Den quiz. It's your chance to win some merch. We've got a Preston third kit, the
black one,
the blackout kit to give away. We've had a post out getting you to tag your mates. It's still open for entry. Just comment on the live stream, tag a friend in the first half of the show, and I will endeavour to get your name down on a slip of paper for the raffle we're going to do. I'll explain all of that later in the program, but get yourself in the comments, tag a friend, and you're still in with a chance to participate in the quiz and win a big prize. But we'll move on to Dan Foden after a hard-fought game on the weekend at Lakeside. Red card in the first half is always going to make things tough.
It was a little rough when you go a goal down and a player down inside the first 15 minutes. I think, look, if we'd have managed to get to half time at 1-0, I think we stand a pretty good chance in the second half. But unfortunately, with about 20 seconds left, we score an own goal, which is a bit rough, and ended up 2-0 down at half time, which makes the climb a lot harder. But look, credit to the girls. We made 3 changes at half time, completely changed everything, because that's what a red card does. It sort of changes the whole game. And when we completely change everything, in my opinion, we were the better team in the second half. With a player down, really gave it a fair shake, and had a couple of opportunities and pinched one towards the back end of the second half. So really gave them a game in that second half.
What do you say at half time back then when you're down a girl? I won't say down a man.
Yeah, that's fine.
And you're what, 1-2-0 down?
It was 2-0 down. 2-0 down and a player down.
Half time, how do you go from there?
Look, for me, my halftime team talk was reasonably simple. I knew that the players that I had to move around, because I'd made that decision 3-4 minutes before halftime.
Yeah.
I was just hoping that we could get to halftime at 1-0 and scrape through. Even though we made 3 changes, we actually made 6 changes in the way the way we were actually playing. So I moved 6 players around the park and 3 of them came off. And we decided to play one-on-one across the whole park. There was one girl who I thought was their weak point. I figured we'd just let her have the ball. So the instruction was, the other 10 of you have got a job. Every single one of you has got a player to mark, except for this girl. Let her have it, because every time she's getting it, she's going to want to go long, and we'll just defend the long ball. And truthfully, it worked really well for us. And I guess my only instruction at halftime about the incident and the goals was, Lisa thought she was doing the right thing by making the foul, because there were 2 girls through, and so she knew the consequences of doing the thing that she did. Look, hindsight says maybe she shouldn't have, because it would have been easier to be 2-0 down with a full 11 players than it was to be 1-0 down and 10 players. So that was my only sort of comment on the incident at halftime, and then I gave them all really clear, very specific instructions on how to get us back into the game, and they executed really well, I thought, in the second half. So,
what about the new signing, Emma, as well? How's that going to bolster the team and the influence that bringing her in? What's that going to do for the team?
She's brilliant. I mean, hopefully everyone who's watching has seen her announcement clip and her highlights and a little bit of what she said about the club. But she's a fantastic calibre of player, and even better, a fantastic calibre of human being. So just having a person like that around the rooms. I did have a bit of a chat to her before she decided to come here, because we've been mates for a few years now, and I sort of said to her, look, we're not at the standard that you're used to around Melbourne City and playing overseas in Sweden and Iceland and all these European countries, in France and everything. I said, we're not at that standard. I said, what I need to do is I need you to maybe drop your standard just a touch, so that you'll fit in with the group and everything will be nice, and that you're not sort of putting everybody off by having standards that they just can't reach.
You think maybe not drop the standard, but the expectation?
Yeah, expectation is probably the right word, right?
Yeah.
So we're on the same page there. I said, but you can't drop them too far, because I actually need you to bring everybody up.
That's right, yeah.
And so we had a really good conversation before she decided to come on board, and she understands the project here that we've worked on over the last few years, and where the club was in terms of women's football 3 or 4 years ago, and to where it is now. I mean, if you'd ask Di, I'd say they're probably light years apart. They had basically no junior women's program 4 years ago. I think now they've got 6 or 7 junior girls teams. And so when I explained the project and what we're trying to work on and where we're trying to get to, she was all in.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's both a pro and a con. When Emma's all in, she's all in. She doesn't do things 50%. So I'm really, really proud to have her at the club as a friend, and obviously even more so as a player.
Yeah,
so.
you want that around.
Yeah, definitely.
How long have the seeds been planted for this one? How long have you been in her ear saying, come on?
None, really. This is the first time I've actually ever asked. Yeah, so we've probably known each other 7 years, something around that.
Because you were an assistant at Alamein when she played there?
Correct, yeah. So I was assistant to Sinishka Hadjic at Alamein, and she was there for a couple of seasons, and so we worked together there. And
that was a baller Alamein team,
it was
by the way. That was
an
unbelievably talented team.
It was a sick Alamein team, yeah. They were really, really, really talented. And look, they probably should have, they maybe got a bit unlucky, maybe underachieved a little bit. I mean, Sinish is one of the best coaches I've worked with, to be honest. I've worked with some really good coaches over the years, and he's really influenced the way that I play and the things that I do and the way that I prepare. And so I think Emma, knowing that when I did ask her, was, I guess, pretty keen to come on board, because I know her and Sasha pretty close as well. So.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And in terms of, you mentioned a little bit there, but in terms of being able to bring in like a Matildas player to this club, what does it say about, I guess, the progress that we've been making on that front? Because that's a pretty significant coup. She last played for the Matildas like last year.
Yeah, I think it was against the USA or Germany.
Germany, I think.
Germany, yeah. So she played in that tour as a right back and a centre back. And look, if you'd have asked me 4 years ago, are we bringing a Matilda to Preston, I'd be like, maybe. But, the way that the club's gone, the way they conducted themselves in the VPL for the last couple of the seasons, a bit unlucky to not be in NPL a year before, with obviously everything that happened. But now that we are in NPL and we had a great start to the season, it was a real... I'm not going to say it was an easy sell, but it was an easy conversation to have. Look where we were, look where we are. I want you to be on this journey with us. We could use someone of your standard, of your caliber, of your personality, and you're going to help drive this program into where it needs to be over the next 3 or 4 years.
Are you looking to bolster the attack or the defence anymore?
I would love to. Unfortunately, there's nothing really more to announce just yet.
Not in the pipeline.
But look, I reckon I've probably sent 60 messages in the last week.
I'm upset I haven't got one.
No. You've got too much of a beard, I think, to get a run out. But look, I would love to pick up 1 or 2 more just to give us a little bit extra, because I know how well some of the other top teams have strengthened. There's 5, 6, 7, 8 players going back to some of these clubs. So for us to pick up 1 or 2 is great, don't get me wrong. But it does still make the back half of the season a bit of a slog against some really, really talented sides with some really, really talented players. So, I mean, we've got Bulleen on Monday night away at their place, and they're going to get all their W League girls back. And if they didn't have 6 or 7 new girls in that lineup this Monday, I would be absolutely gobsmacked. So it's going to be a tough back half of the year, even with some good pickups. But I think what I can say is that we've surprised a lot of teams coming into NPL. We were undefeated until the weekend, and I think everyone couldn't believe that a team coming up from the division below was undefeated after 7 rounds. And the team that's currently top also came up with us. So I think that just shows that the strength of Victorian football is actually improving across all the divisions. And now that promotion and relegation is in, I think clubs are investing in their programs, and I think it's we were one of the first. But other clubs are sort of following us, and
it's paying off.
Well, you look at Essendon last night, actually knocking off Bayside in the cup. You've got a VPL team knocking out an NPL team out of the night cup, which has only happened once before, off the top of my head.
Twice, I think.
Twice before.
Yeah,
so,
there was one last year, I think.
Yeah, it's not particularly common, and it's really nice to see in the women's game. And for us, I'd love to add 1 or 2 more players into this group and continue to bolster it. But look, the group itself is gelled really well. They're an amazing group of girls with a really great bunch of personalities, and it does make it a pleasure for me to coach, to be honest, for the most part.
I mean, Jake, you've got to understand, how one-sided the competition used to be before,
Yeah.
because they didn't have
I
promotion
can
and
imagine.
relegation
Yeah.
for a long time, and there was only 8 teams.
I think for 8 years there was no promotion relegation.
Yeah, so it just lulled into this situation where there were 4 big teams and there was a couple
Yeah.
of middling ones, I guess, and there were 2 teams that would just get battered every single week, and they were
Round robin, no pressure kind of thing.
yeah, exactly. And now that is completely
completely
changed,
gone.
Yeah.
Completely gone.
and the standards have really shifted in terms of what newer teams can do, or smaller teams in the
Smaller
comp.
teams in the comp. And I think that one of the big things that happened obviously is Western United coming into the W League. When that happened, obviously they'd had a partnership with Calder, and there were a lot of players from Calder who left and went to play for Western, and a few of those will come back now. But that did, I guess, slow down what was a juggernaut of. I think they've won
Sort of unbeatable Calder team. Yeah.
And I mean they just. Basically, the Calder team from 2 years ago or a year and a half ago just went and played in a W League Grand Final.
It was basically the same Western United team.
Yeah.
With a few
portion, right?
little sprinkles on top,
Yeah.
but it's basically the same dominant team.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a bit of a handicap for the rest of the competition.
And that happens when there's no promotion relegation, right? Is all the good players end up going to play good football in one team. That's what happened over a period of time. And don't get me wrong, Mark Tokaza did a great job of building that team and that program over a period of time. And he had it at Bandura before that as well. And you look at what they did. I think they won all bar one trophy in 8 years. This is insane,
ridiculous.
right? So look. Now that
the defeat we inflicted on them here, that was the first time they'd lost back-to-back
in
games
3 years, I think,
since about 2017, actually.
Maybe 5 years.
Yeah,
so,
ridiculous.
Yeah, so look,
Far out.
they're a really quality side still, and they've picked up points in recent weeks, and they're about to be bolstered as well. Pauline obviously been picking up some points recently and doing well. So, look, I have to say that our group is almost the same as last year's group. I think we kept 13 of our 16 players.
That's really good, yeah.
And so to have that level of quality coming up from VPL and jumping up to the next standard in football and doing really well, is a real proud moment for me, for the group, and I think for the club as well.
So having said all that, I want to rewind to when you last came on the show, which is in pre-season. I said, what's the target? And you said, I don't know yet. Ask me after a few games.
Okay,
well, I'm asking you again.
Yeah, okay. Look, I think that from what I hear, the finals format is changing this year. So historically, it's been a top 4 final series. And I hear that it's possibly a top 6 final series this year.
Okay.
Not first past the post in the women's?
There's still a championship, and then there's sort of like the AFL where there's a premiership afterwards. And so... If that is the case, I'd like to finish in the top 6 and play finals in our first year. That'll be a pretty good achievement, I think, for a team coming up from VPL to play finals in their first year. So
achievable.
There's the goal.
I think also for some people who haven't seen Emma play, like what are you actually expecting from her in terms of the attributes she brings on the pitch? What do you think she's going to bring? Give us the sell for people to come down and watch her play.
Give us the sell. Look, Emma's a technically really, really good footballer. She's a very, very good leader, and I think that's the thing I'm looking forward to the most. Is she comes from probably the best ball playing team in the W League. Melbourne City do move the ball really, really well, and she's a key component of that. Something that we haven't done particularly well is play out of the back. We've been pretty good in transition. We've been excellent defensively, but we haven't been good playing out from the back and building up through the midfield. So she's going to give us a lot more, let's say, calmness on the ball, a lot more ability to play through the lines. She doesn't have to. She can look for that first pass even under pressure. So when teams are pressing us, we can still play out. We don't have to play over the press. And so look, I'm really looking forward to having her presence, her calmness, her ability to play through the lines and play football really, because we've got a lot of hard workers in this team. So we've got a lot of people who are going to run and tackle and put their body on the line and do all the hard stuff. But we don't have a lot of ball-playing footballers, people who want to get on the ball and look for it in the pockets under tight pressure. Sort of Miri and Moni are the only ones who really like it in those sorts of areas.
I was going to say, does that free up Miri and Moni to get a
little
little
bit.
bit higher up the pitch and not
bit.
have to drop and sort of almost players auxiliary kind of quarterback sometimes. Yeah,
that is the plan a little bit, because Emma's got the ability to drive past the 9 and almost become like an extra midfielder playing as a centre back. So, and she's looked really, really strong in the air. Big voice, really good communicator. So, look, there's a lot of things that she brings to this group. So, I'm just really excited to work with her again, to be honest.
I can see Jake over there getting excited. He's a centre back, so
the way you explained it, I just thought you were talking about me. Honestly, I was
actually. I
tick,
was
tick,
doing,
tick, tick, tick. Thanks, Dan.
That's right.
Appreciate it.
No worries.
So Nike FC Cup tomorrow night in Geelong.
Yeah, Lara.
Good fun.
Lucky me, huh? Look, it's better than some of the other draws, I guess, but I'm looking forward to it. I don't know. I don't think I've ever played against North Geelong in the girls as a coach. I coached against them in the boys, but never in the girls. So it'll be a bit new to me, which is not often that I get to say that, but it's a bit new to me. So I'm looking forward to it.
There's an unknown for you in Victorian women's football.
I know, and I've been, not going to lie, I've been trying to get some footage over the last few days, and no one's got any. So
you were a men's coach before?
I was in boys,
Really?
I was in boys before.
Fair enough.
So I've been around.
Yeah, I mean, how do the logistics of that work, getting to Geelong on a Thursday night? Are there a few people who don't want to put their hands up for this game?
Well, lucky for us, they made it as early as possible, which is obviously going to make it even more difficult to get the girls out there after work and stuff. So they made it a 7:30 kickoff instead of an 8:30 kickoff, which is, that extra hour does make a really big difference when you're trying to get across the other side of the city. You've got people coming from Albury and Myrtleford and Langwarrin, and it's for some of them it's 4.5 hour drive, for some of them. So
no way.
It's going to be tough to get everybody there. We've got one of the young girls who's training tonight, who's actually skipping school tomorrow so she can play. So she's going to stay here at her auntie's house, and she'll come out with one of the girls and tomorrow to play. So we're going to give a couple of the girls a rest if we can, especially the ones that travel a long way and the ones who have had a lot of really heavy minutes the last couple of weeks. We'll try to rest a couple, but we're down to the final 8 if we win here.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't really want to.
You can't roll out the 19s entirely.
No, you can't roll out a reserve squad and hope to get a result against a team that's scored 21 goals, sits top of State League 1, right?
Yeah, you're almost there as well.
You don't want to go there and disrespect them and take an under-19s team.
Yeah.
You really do got to still take a strong side. So we'll take a strong enough side, I think, and rest just a couple of players. And like Miri will still be in the squad, Delaney will still be in the squad. We'll still take some good players with us to make sure that we can get over the line, because it's important to give these young ones some minutes and get them an opportunity, but it's also important to make sure we're winning the game first and foremost. So.
Yeah, of course.
Last one. Miri's goal. Explain.
She does this at training all the time. It's ridiculous. So ball comes, Hayley comes inside, misses her pass, ball bobbles out, Paula tries to have a shot, ball bobbles out. It falls to Miri, and she's on her right foot, and she's got a defender on her left side pressing. She flicks the ball over the defender. As the ball drops on the half volley, she just smashes it past the keeper from 25 yards.
Ridiculous.
And I remember just turning around to Liam and saying, goal of the year or just goal of the week? Because, she does this stuff at training, so it doesn't particularly surprise me. But, the other team were gobsmacked that that's what just happened. And I was just looking at her going, could you have done that in the first half, please? Give us a chance. So, no, great. Look, she's technically
probably her worst game of the season as well. And she just does that in the 85th minute or whatever.
It would be. I said to her after the game, I said, where were you? Because it probably was her worst game of the season, and she's probably scored goal of the year or at least goal of the week. So, yeah, she's a pretty special talent who genuinely really does love Preston. I remember talking to her in the pre-season, and she just said to me, because she had offers from, I think, all bar one of the NPL clubs, and she just said to me, is everybody coming back next year? I said, pretty much everybody, yeah. And she said, okay, I'll come back.
Yeah, it's awesome team.
No brainer. No brainer for
really
her.
Good.
Is everyone coming back? Yeah, okay, I'm in too. So, yeah, she's brilliant for us.
That's why we call her Miri Macadonka.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
That's why.
That's exactly right.
Dan, I'll let you go. Thank you so much, mate. Best of luck for the long away trip tomorrow night and for the weekend's game.
Thank you very much.
We'll take a short break here on the Lions Den, but don't you dare go anywhere, because the next segment's going to be box office one way or another. Jimmy Gligga and Tommy Petkovsky on the other side. Pray for us.
You're listening to The Lions Den on FNR, Football Nation Radio.
In the mouth.
It's the day we've all been waiting for, or perhaps the day we've all been dreading. I'm not sure. Jimmy, Gligga, Tommy Petkovsky, welcome to the Lions Den, boys.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you, Joshy. Good boy.
Your challenge is to...
Yes! Get in there, fellas.
Yes.
Back. Oh, Bollicker. Take it easy.
Take it easy, mate.
Your challenge is to not get us cancelled before the end of the hour. Thank you.
We'll be right.
All right, we'll be right.
We'll be right. We'll give
All
it
right.
a go.
Best behaviour.
Firstly, I'll get you to introduce yourselves. How long have you been involved in any capacity with the Preston Lions?
I'll go first.
When did your Preston journey start?
So I'm originally a New South Wales Sydney boy.
Yes.
Moved here at the age of 10 years old. So I started from under 10s here. So I'm 41 now. So 31 years I've been at Preston. Either a player or a supporter. That's me. Yourself, Jimmy?
Yeah, oh shit. I was probably about. Sorry for the
We're
language.
one bleep so far.
Sorry for the language. You haven't got the beep, beep, beep.
I can't do it live, mate.
Yeah, all right, sorry. mate.
Behave.
Yeah, I'm 51. I've probably been here about 40 odd years now at Preston. Started off as a junior as well, under 11s and 12s, and then, junior, front gate, 4 years at the front gate, helping out the club then. A year manager at the social club, helping out the club then, and that's where it is.
Well, I have to admit, when the announcement went up, when you two were the dream team, the duo team managers this season, Jake, I have to say, I thought, what are they doing giving these two cookers any responsibility? But how has it been for the players?
Honestly, without them, we're hopeless. Seriously, like, you know, back in the day, as a youngster, you're picking up the cones and the balls and filling up the bottles and stuff. With these guys around, they do everything. They go above and beyond. Game day, you walk into the sheds, it is immaculate. Like, you really feel like you're playing in a Premier League club. The jerseys are there. The shorts and stuff like that are nicely set. They've got chewing gum, they've got electrolytes, they've got lollies, they've got Powerade waters, they've got everything. They go above and beyond for us, and we're very grateful to have them on board and stuff like that. And their personalities just make everything a lot better. So, yeah, no, we're very, very thankful. I'm personally thankful to have them with me, especially because I get to spend the most time with them.
How much are you paying him to say this? Unbelievable.
No. None of us are getting paid to be here.
You're a gun.
Not one of us.
Yes, good boy.
Yeah.
Why do you do it? Why do you put in the effort? Why have you got such passion for this institution?
Louis rang or got in contact with me roughly around September, I reckon, saying he wants, he's a team manager, and I sort of wanted to jump at it, but I knew sort of the work hours commitments I couldn't fully. It's when I asked Jimmy if he wanted to get involved with me, because if you go back over the previous years, there's always been two TMs in this team, pretty much over the last 10 years or so. Benji would know. So when I spoke to him, when I spoke to Jimmy and then Louis, we had a meeting. It's like a dream job for us. Instead of being over there, we're in the sort of inner sanctum. So yeah, I love every minute of it. I'm sure Jimmy loves every minute of it as well.
Oh, mate, but Preston Macedonia's in my blood, mate.
That's right.
Full stop, mate. And just passion. Oh, that's.
Don't talk about it.
Don't talk about it, man. It's another step.
It's evident that way.
It's just.
And like I said, I've got so. When I first came here, my uncle was already a legend at the club as an NSL legend, Lube. My dad was a junior president for 2 or 3 years. My wife was playing one of the first inaugural women's teams. My kids now play juniors here, and I've played from the age of 10 till about the reserve team. But unfortunately, I couldn't get to the seniors because the guy playing centre back was Sash Oganovsky. So I had zero chance of getting there. So I retired. Played local, like state 3 or 4, but I was never going to play seniors, unfortunately.
Not enough headbutts.
When did you come across Sash?
Geez.
How old were you?
I was 19, he would have been about 22, 23 playing senior. I had no chance.
I actually coached Sash as an assistant coach, under 14s and 15s at the club.
Wow.
Yeah, believe it or not. Helped out a mate coach, and and Dad's been here, what, 35 years? He was ex-team manager / groundkeeper back in the NSL days. So
it's like it was meant to be,
just grew up.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, grew up here. So a lot of history.
Must be a trip seeing Sash back when you remember him as a kid.
You still like Bon Jovi with the long hair. He's killing everyone, and now
once a troublemaker, always a troublemaker.
Hey, listen, I've got a
Nah,
question.
brilliant bloke. I love him to death.
I've got a question for both of you. I asked this last week to Andrew Stubley, and I'm going to re-ask it again today. And I don't want you to jump in, Josh, with your technicalities and players and whatnot. And who is your? We'll start with you, Tommy Umsu. Who's your favourite player in the first grade team, and why is it me?
Why is it you? You're always bubbly. You always lift the spirits of the team.
Yeah.
I reckon, yeah.
All right, Jimmy, who's your favourite player in the first grade team, and why is it me?
Unbelievable.
Oh, you're a gun.
Oh,
mate.
thanks, mate.
Mate, no, I can't be rude, can I? No. Be a good boy.
No, behave.
No, love Drake. All the boys are brilliant. Just makes the job a lot more easier as well.
Yeah.
So,
Who are you always cleaning up after?
oh,
Oh, Jesus.
when we
Who
first,
makes your job the hardest?
I reckon Dib's quite messy.
Yeah.
yeah, Dibby, yeah,
Tidy passer,
Yeah.
messy locker room.
yeah, true.
You can't have everything.
No.
No.
Yeah,
Dib will also ask for Red Bulls and bananas on Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays.
yeah. Mate,
Taking a goose.
must think we're at Liverpool. Unbelievable.
But that's your fault for setting the
But
standard so
when we
high.
first when we first started, that was good. The rubbish bins here, they'd throw the rubbish right there.
Correct.
Ridiculous.
If you want to frustrate Jimmy, don't put the rubbish in the bin.
That's it. I mean,
Have we tightened the ship up? Have we instituted
yeah.
the fines policy?
Definitely.
100%. Benji's all over that.
Yeah. If one person left the bottle butt, everyone's got to pay for it. So really now everyone's accountable because the whole team has to pay for it. Yeah.
That's like when you used to be in school and the teacher would put a 1 on the board and
Yep.
say it's your lunchtime.
Yeah,
guys.
not mine.
It's the same strategy, right?
Exactly the same.
Oh, always. Same strategy. They are kids. They are kids.
Yeah, we forget they are quite young. A lot.
They
of
are
them,
young.
so.
Yeah, it's a
So-
trip. How many of them are actually younger than me? It just doesn't compute. But
Yeah.
what surprised you about being on the inner sanctum this season? What
surprised me is obviously being behind the goals last year. Watching, you'd lose, you'd be upset for 24 hours, and you think, it's right, we'll go again next week. Yeah, when we lose or draw, it's like a 5-day process.
So all 5 stages of grief.
Yeah, grief. You don't want to talk to anybody. It's crazy. The different emotions being in the sanctum. Then
Same.
yeah, that's
100%.
That's what I found the hardest so far.
For me, the hardest is when passion kicks in. I can't go out there like I used to behind the fence and go a little bit crazy, So I've been, brought up and stuff like that with the Preston boys back then and in the NSL days. They were crazy days.
Like Tommy's street record 14 and no, is it?
15 and zip.
15, sorry, 15.
Never lost a street fight.
Never lost a street fight.
15 and zip.
But but being in the sector, that's black and white to me.
Yeah.
Simple.
Louis did give us some guidelines too. Social media antics, this, that, which
Yeah.
is fair enough.
Which is that's fair enough.
Rated in.
Just
Rated
how quiet I have to be.
I was an
That's,
occasional social media troll, but I've brought it back in.
Reformed.
Yeah, reformed,
Behaviour?
went to rehab, I'm good now.
I've done not bad. He's only told me off 3 times in 3 games, so it's not bad.
He's doing very well.
He's done very well. But slowly get used to it. So.
Sometimes the passion does boil over. Sometimes you celebrate too early.
Oh yeah,
I was
what a
bringing
classic
it
that
up,
was.
mate.
That was good. It was like 85th minute, I don't know what
Was it
happened.
offside? Was it offside? Or was
Yeah.
the call? It was
The
offside.
call was
about
offside.
33
Tommy
minutes
thought it
offside.
was the final whistle. He was about 10 minutes early as well.
He's
I
Tommy
got a few relaxers from Sash, from Sinisha, from Ange. Take it easy.
Balaka. Yes. And
Just as well they stopped you before you did a knee slide
Oh,
towards the
mate, I
corner
was
flag.
on my way. I'll tell you what, I was on my way.
Tommy gets quite nervous, so I have to try, being the older one, try and calm him down.
Calms me down.
But before away games, comes past my place. We have a rakia, and that really calms the nerves down.
Calms the nerves,
So,
yeah, big time.
Yeah, he's nervous and forgets things, so which is good. We bounce off each other, and I wouldn't do it with anyone else.
Same.
Brilliant bloke.
Same.
You need them both. It's like yin and yang.
Brilliant, mate.
They work really well together and they complement each other's personalities. It's really good.
Brilliant.
I mean, tell me about these three guys. Not just the job they do, but the personalities.
Okay, so
We don't go way back, but we've got a bit of ties from
Yeah.
Sydney.
Yeah.
you go.
Actually, funnily enough, I was here last year at one point and I met Tommy in the grandstands. Well, I wasn't a Preston player back then and he was still just a fan. So we kicked it off back then, and then obviously coming here together, you've made us feel really welcome, and so did Jimmy. It's very, very easy to get along with them in the change room, and they make you feel like you've been here forever. So like if you want something to be done and you don't want to get told off, you go to Tommy. if you forgot a piece of training wear or jersey or whatever, don't go to Jimmy because he's gonna hammer you. You're not gonna get away with it. The world's gonna know about it. Twitter, social media, everyone's gonna know that you didn't bring your jersey one time, and then you hear about it for the next 3 weeks. But like I said, two of them working together, they're a ball of energy themselves, and they're so fun to be around. Like my excitement is coming early. Like with them, they'll be here at 4 o'clock if we start training at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock.
Oh,
you know what I mean? That's how dedicated they are. You go to any away game, the sheds are already packed and stuff like that about 3 p.m. If you're playing at 6, 7 as well. It's just ridiculous the effort that they actually put in and stuff like that, and they always go above and beyond no matter where they go. They're very hospitable, and like I said, they're best team managers I've ever had. No offense to anyone else.
Thank you, Jake.
No
Thank you,
worries,
Jake.
mate.
I think
Cheers, mate.
Jimmy's
Very
getting
nice.
a bit emotional over there.
Yes.
Bit of appreciation.
Oh, yeah.
Sweating.
We built a good bond, man.
It's very hot in here.
Yes.
Oh, God. But no. Thank the boys. Like I said, boys are brilliant.
Yeah, no,
Boys
the
are
boys,
brilliant.
yeah, no,
All
the boys.
brothers. All brothers.
Do you have any tales from your Preston support over the years, the away days, the
Oh, mate.
trials and
God,
tribulations?
what we can say.
Yeah,
Can we say?
broadcastable
Jeez,
ones.
what can we say?
We're even in the same group supporting, so it doesn't. Was
Yeah.
there anything that stands out? Nah.
Nothing
Just
overly
abusing
stands
players
out.
and that.
We're in about 400 group chats, Preston group chats.
Oh,
That's
man.
one thing. We have to give it a shout out to the boys today.
Yes, hello, boys. Yes.
Hey, the camera's there
FPL
as well.
too.
The camera's
Yes.
there.
So what? Yeah, but
Nothing
Yeah.
really stands out. I mean, actually, the one that stands out for me was when we played, I believe it was Somerville in FFA Cup a couple of years ago.
Oh,
and
The
they had
through the
that
windshield.
guy from the show. What was his name? Brycey.
Brycey from maths.
And
Yeah.
he for 90 minutes he destroyed him.
I
For
came.
90 minutes he destroyed
Was
Brycey
that-
from maths.
Yeah, I was
That
actually.
stands out to me.
Yeah, I actually watched that series through the misses, of course. But Brycey, I just gave it to him.
90 minutes. That was just
90 minutes.
ball of laughter.
Yeah.
You
so
know,
that was
he
good.
commentated NPL. He used to commentate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Does he still do it?
Not so much this year, but he might be tuning in. Shout out to Bryce. If you're
Yeah.
watching.
Brycey.
Brycey, remember those blue eyes, mate? Yes. Be careful.
Oh man.
You've broken Jake.
Oh, mate.
Jake, I love this
Oh.
kid. Good boy.
Honestly, it's all love. He's so funny.
We also had a good bonding session on Saturday.
Saturday was incredible.
Uh-oh.
Jimmy
You
was
bet.
MVP. He had Johnny Roberts gold chains on. He had diamond rings on. He had watches on. He was running around and he was singing. He was dancing.
Yeah.
Not going to show any videos.
Nah.
That's too explicit for
Nah.
FNR radio on a
I was a top
Wednesday
dog.
night.
See ya,
But
gents. Have
see
a
you
good night.
fellas.
We
Take
got
care.
there at 3 and we left at nearly 3.
Once these stories are coming out, all the players are leaving. I can see that.
Yeah.
They're running around.
Yeah,
waiting
yeah,
for this
yeah.
one. Yeah.
We had, a good
that-
we had a good 12-hour shift at Jake and Jordan's.
Yeah. But
Hey, they still work. They rocked up. Oh, mate. See, this is what I'm talking about. They
Oh.
came with an esky, 2 bags of ice. They came with like half a
Yeah, so
Woolworths.
you catered.
Half a
Yeah.
Woolworths.
Right.
They bought every soft drink under the sun times 3. And now we've got no room in our fridge. We're keeping bottles outside of it and stuff like that. Nah, it's just incredible.
no.
Yeah, what a bunch of guys.
Yeah. Appreciate Geordie and Jake getting all the boys together.
Yeah, that was a great night. Hopefully,
Great
happens,
night.
hopefully
Awesome.
happens again.
See you
So,
Saturday.
It's a good bonding session.
See you
Great.
there.
Yeah, very good.
How do the wins feel? Are they different now that you're involved?
Different, yeah. You can't.
Is there one that stands out from this season so far?
The most electrifying was Dandy City
Oh, yeah,
away.
yeah.
I was
Awesome.
flying that night.
Awesome. Same. Awesome.
That's the one that stood out to me. I was wearing Preston clothes for 7 days straight after that.
Yeah, that was my favourite win as well.
A win for me is going to bed at 4 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, that's right.
Simple.
That might be after a training session around here.
Mate,
Well,
switch on.
tonight, or maybe
tonight.
tonight, Wednesday night's usually a late
After
one. So.
tonight.
You're right about that, Joshy.
You know, it's funny this season hanging around after a few games and trainings and so forth. I've realised that the Brains Trust here, I think they do it for the post-game sesh, for the camaraderie, for sitting around the table, dissecting the game and telling stories until 1 in the morning, whatever. Sash bringing the bottles of rakia out. The football is so important, but it's almost secondary.
You mean after the games?
After the
just
games, or
trainings.
even after trainings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're forced to win so they can celebrate in the
What?
way they do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And even after losses, it's like a group. It's like group therapy. It was here on
Yeah.
Friday night.
Actually,
You cop abuse here and there, but you take it. It's all good. It's
Louis,
good.
Louis Sash, coaching staff, awesome. Awesome. Wouldn't rule with anyone else.
No way.
Awesome.
Nah.
Brilliant. Like brothers. Like brothers. Awesome bunch of blokes.
They just get it as well.
Oh.
For this place specifically, I don't think there's a better
No.
blend, to be honest.
100%.
Because you could have a world-class tactician, you could have a, highest coaching badges or whatever. You could get Thomas Tuchel or somebody in here, but they wouldn't get it.
Oh,
Nah.
You wouldn't have the same, I guess, appreciation and bond with the supporters that they do.
Yeah, you'd think he'd struggle here.
The professionalism actually surprised me how professional Louis and they were with everything, how meticulous they were. That has to be done. That has to be done. You know what I'm saying? Game day has got to be set out, or the kits, or for the boys' drinks or food, whatever. It was very professional. That's what took me. I thought, I come here a little bit less professional, but it's full on. It's a full
You
on.
set a
It's a
standard,
full on
but
job.
you set a standard to go
Yeah.
out there and just go with it as well. So,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah.
100% got their backs. 100%.
National Second Division announcement today. Next stage.
Yeah, I
through,
got tagged
26.
67 times on Facebook. It was good. It was great.
Exciting times. Exciting.
Still
So then,
another step.
can you update us then? What's the where's the plan of attack from there?
Bentley's out, unfortunately. Poor
Yeah,
guys,
unfortunately.
Okay.
Oh, how sad.
Take the goose.
Bad. Yeah. But,
Well, I think that
National-
when's the next sort of step? August maybe, or
Yeah, it's towards later in the year. So I mean, they're going to have to towards a decision eventually. But this is the next stage. I'm invited forward. I imagine there'd be a bigger kind of deposit or financial commitment. The clubs show that they're really serious about this.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And also just more scrutiny of what this club and every other club applying is going to bring to the competition. I think the first cutoff is just about eligibility. Like, do you meet these basic requirements that we've set out as a prerequisite?
Yep.
And now it's sort of more of a qualitative assessment of what is this club actually going to bring? Is this club over this club? For fans and facilities and this, that, and the other, and actually starting to put some points of comparison in place and say how many clubs are we going to have from each state and so forth. I think that those sorts of judgments come into it now, where it's more just like, are you technically eligible? It's probably the only thing for the 26, and we are. And there's been a massive amount of work that's gone into that submission.
definitely, the guys done it.
I'm interested because we've spoken about it a few times, Josh, about the teams that have the synthetic fields, especially like in New South Wales. There's a few of them that have gone through to the next stage, and I'm just thinking, are they going to be clubs in that national second division? Are people going to be playing on synthetic pitches on a weekly basis instead of the grass and whatnot? So that's going to be interesting, in my opinion, because I think it's a massive difference. That's something you always look to. Like, even Lou made us train at down the road on a Friday night before. Was it
Later night at Slaughter.
Yeah.
Slaughter,
Thank you, Steve Beck.
Just
Yes,
to
good boys, Becky.
just to get a feel of the pitch before we actually played on it. So that could change a lot of things as well. And hopefully they're all on grass, actually, to be honest.
I think there will be some artificial pitches. I think it's inevitable. I don't know if beggars can be choosers in that regard.
It'd be good if the requirement was to actually have a grass maintained pitch with obviously your amenities, your scoreboards, your lighting,
Ideally,
and grandstand and all that kind of stuff.
It's so dominant when you talk about New South Wales. I think it's almost inevitable that you're going to have at least one or two in there.
Well, it's like the opposite. There's only like 2-3 grass pitches in that division, and then you come in here in Victoria, and it's the opposite. There's only 2 that have synthetic, and then the rest are all grass and maintained. So
I think it might be, just part of the inbuilt home advantage that comes with this competition. I think the home advantage is going to be huge, like bigger than even in the A-League, because it's going to be like a fly-in, fly-out arrangement a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Some clubs aren't going to stay the night.
I'm hearing it's on the same day.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it will vary club to club in their approach, and also with fixturing and everything. But
budget.
I think that the home advantage is going to be a massive, massive thing for the competition actually kicks off.
That's sorry, Josh. That's how the old NSL was.
Yeah.
Mate, home advantage was gold.
Yeah.
Gold. So it reminds. Oh, sorry.
There you go, mate.
Thank you, man.
Assist.
Yeah, like I was saying, it's like the old NSL. It was home advantage was like I said, gold and
I can't wait to fly interstate with you two.
Oh,
Room in and everything.
oh. And that's what it reminds me of, the old NSL coming back.
To take Boyism out of it, I can't see a B League without Preston. Like, surely.
Nah.
Oh, you think
I
so?
don't want to be
No
biased,
way.
but surely.
Well, I mean, we all are, but I agree, but we can't
Jump the gun.
jump the gun.
Yeah,
We've got to be humble in this process, and that's what the club leadership is. And we can sit back here and from the cheap seats and say they can't do without us.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they'll have their reasons for whatever call they make, and we just got to put our case forward and hope for the best.
Yeah,
There's nothing
definitely.
more we can do.
Week
So,
by week.
yeah.
Week
And
by week.
you know, we don't know what the model is. You know, we've also got to consider whether the NSD is right for Preston as well.
That's
And
right.
And I'm sure the committee is going to be considering that at every point along the process of what the commitment looks like financially and what the competition actually ends up being.
Yep.
You know, whether it's a full home and away, whether it's conferences and things like that, which hopefully not. But, I mean, Jimmy, what would it mean to you to see Preston back on the national stage as someone who's followed them, you know,
Oh, since
in
like
the NSL?
Yeah. Oh, mate. It's the old NSL was, to me, it was still
Still in your heart.
number
Yeah.
one and still in my heart. Still in my heart. It's just, oh, mate, to be out there recognised in your country, I mean, you can't beat that.
'Cause we don't know what rights. It could be on TV rights as well. We don't
Oh,
know, do we? It might be
yeah.
on national television,
It might-
maybe, or not.
Yeah,
Will be.
well, that
think
remains
so?
to be seen.
Yeah.
It could be streaming, it could be TV.
Yeah. So,
Johnny doing the rounds while we're live.
yeah.
we're doing a radio show, mate.
Yeah.
We're live on air.
Yeah, mate. Tell you, mate.
Taking the
Hey.
Do you want to come on
Honestly,
the show, Johnny?
just get over here, bro.
Didn't notice the camera, nothing. Why are we all wearing headsets?
Yeah,
Nah.
no.
Yeah, I'm done.
No.
What a club.
What a club.
And the bingo's flying.
Johnny, I think that gold train's going to stay around my neck, mate.
Oh, man.
Johnny.
I'll speak to you.
I'm done. Hey,
Hey, he wants to have a chat. Sorry, guys, can you just stop talking? He wants to talk to
I'll
me.
step out. I'll give my headset.
Yeah,
I'm
just
finished. Hey, I'm finished.
Done.
I'm done.
We said that, didn't we?
speak to Jordy.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
What
mate.
a club.
And do you get now what I mean about these players? How we
Yeah.
have to teach them?
Yeah, you're.
You know what? That only comes with
It's
you
like
guys
parenting.
around as well.
Yeah.
It comes when you guys
Mate.
are around.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the energy that
You
you
reckon?
bring. It's a
There
circus.
probably is. There probably is. Probably is. We try and make it fun for everyone. Try and,
Oh, man.
See how boys.
Oh dear. Well,
Yeah.
Far.
I don't know where to go from there. I think let's get into the quiz, shall we?
Yeah.
We've got a quiz.
Go for it.
Let's do
Well,
it.
we're trying this. We'll see how it goes.
Yep.
If
why
it
not?
works, we'll do it again. Well, we've got a third kit to give away. So for everyone playing at home, stay glued to your screens because obviously we can't get the people on Facebook Live to participate in the quiz. It's going to take too long. So I'm going to get you guys to be their champions.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
So you're going to draw a name out of the hat.
You've won. Yeah.
Out of this Preston cap right here, you're going to draw a name. Everyone who's commented and tagged a mate in those posts is in the mix.
Yep.
So to have a leaf around in this, draw your name out, and that's the person you're playing for. And if you win them a third kit.
Okay.
Like it?
You start.
Yeah, very good.
Of your life.
Go on, Jakey.
You're like Tony Barber, Josh.
Who have you got?
Ange Naseski.
Angela. Yeah.
Ex-committee member.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah,
Excellent.
Blondie, it looks like Cisco.
All right,
Yeah.
so you're rooting for Jake, Ange.
That's you. That's,
on, Jimmy.
That's you, Jimmy.
Close the eyes.
There you go. Steve.
Steve Pepper.
Steve Pepper. I don't know if that's a pseudonym, but you know.
I don't know, man.
It's a great name.
Steve Pipper. Yes.
No idea who that is.
Steve Pipper.
Liam Nardo.
Oh,
Liam
that's
Nardo.
my older brother's best mate.
Nah.
Nah, serious.
Swap me.
Yeah,
They've been trading horses here.
already
All right.
rigged.
Nato. Champions League
Uh-oh.
draw.
here we go.
Uh-oh. All right.
He's
So,
going to win, man.
Yeah.
He's young. He watches
so
everything.
some of it's just general football, some of it's Preston.
Yep.
Okay.
Go.
I'll get you guys to buzz in with your name. And some of the questions I'll let all of you answer and then...
Hey, can we use a raw as a buzzer? Can we do the
Yeah,
raw as
yeah,
a buzzer?
yeah.
Can you give us your
Yeah.
raw? So what's your raw?
Right.
Okay.
Yes. The what?
Oh, can't even win. Nah.
We're off the rails already. Okay.
Let's go.
Dave's going to kill us.
Ah, he's all right.
Question 1. Erling Haaland recently scored his 35th Premier League goal of the season,
Gligga.
breaking...
What? No, you got a round. You got to.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Breaking?
I haven't
Nah, let
finished
it-
the question, but if you want to guess,
Manchester City.
Wrong.
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 not what I was
Yeah,
asking.
let's go,
All
mate.
right,
Tommy, I'm
Jimmy's out of the mix for this question.
Have a crack.
Breaking the single season record, but whose record did he break?
Raw.
Tommy in first.
Alan Shearer?
And
Sergio Aguero?
no. So I'll have to split a point between you if you get the other player.
I'll be honest with you. Mine was going to be Alan Shearer.
All right, point goes to Tommy. The other player I was looking for was Andy Cole.
He was terrible.
But he scored 34 goals in a season, so he can't
Sorry,
be that
Nato.
bad.
I was so
And
close.
you're winning. Good ball.
I'm also pretty sure he did Simon Colosimo's knee ligaments in a friendly, but we don't talk about that. Before this season's triumph, in what year did Napoli last win the Serie A title? Jakey.
I don't know. 1983.
No.
Raw.
Tommy.
86.
86. No.
Yeah.
Jimmy.
78.
I'm going to go closest to the pin here. Tommy with 86 is closest. 1990 when
90.
Diego Maradona. 89-90, just before Italia 90, remember?
Yes.
This is
Italia 90.
Angie's
You're
home,
right.
right?
Yeah.
this no good.
We're setting it up.
Yeah.
Okay, which goalkeeper holds the record
You should have kept that one for him.
for Premier League clean sheets
Forever or this year?
ever? Total.
God.
It's just Premier League, so it's just since the 90s and stuff.
Raw.
Tommy.
Peter Schmeichel?
Nope.
Well,
Yes.
Jimmy.
What's his name? Shilton. Was it Shilton?
No.
no, he played rugby league.
Bollicker.
Peter Stilton.
Bit early, I think.
It's your last.
We'll go with. I don't even. I can't remember. I think it's Arsenal goalkeeper. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I don't know. Oh, let's go with Peter Cech just for the fun of it.
Correct.
Whoa,
Jakey's pulled one out
wow.
of the bag.
Jeez.
Impressive.
He's got Google on.
Nah,
Which country won the first ever World Cup in 1930?
Yes.
Jakey was first in.
Oh.
France.
Incorrect.
Yes.
Bugger.
Uruguay.
Uruguay
You
is
know what?
correct.
I had a feeling it was one of the blue and
Jimmy
white
on the
countries.
board.
I knew it. Something like that.
So,
Yeah.
I just had to. I had to hit one. You know.
3 questions left.
I love my World Cup.
Jake's got 1 point. Jimmy 1. Tommy 2. Which Australian football artefact was recently rediscovered after being lost since the 1950s?
Football artifact.
Football
It's
artifact.
a sort of trophy.
Can I get that in a sentence, please?
Yeah. Yes. Champions League.
Australian football.
Oh, Australian. Sorry, man.
Ra?
Yep.
Not that Pushka statue, was it?
No.
Oh,
Good guess,
we
Bart.
haven't lost that.
All right.
Australian.
What?
Let's have a ping, man.
All right, let's just go with.
No, you got to do the cat.
Mate, I got no idea. Zero clue. I don't know. The FFA Cup trophy.
Oh, the answer I was looking for was the soccer ashes. You didn't hear about that?
No,
It's not,
mate.
cri-
it
it's
was
not
in the
cricket,
news.
Josh.
Josh, you
mate.
got to know your demographic here, but like, you got to know.
There's only one Ashes, mate.
You got to know your crowd.
It's a football trophy. It's a soccer ash.
Hey, I'm playing for a jersey, man.
Never heard of that, Josh.
It was in the news recently, so I thought you might have seen it.
Okay, guys.
Jeez, no, I didn't.
All right,
No to the news.
alrighty.
Terrible.
Which 3 Preston men's players are tied on 4 goals this season? Jakey.
Connor Bell, Delano Farrow, and he's not even in the room. Someone. Shit, I don't know.
3.
Jamie Forrester.
Yep.
I'll let someone else guess. I'll come back to you.
Ra? Jordan Figon? No. Delano Ferro? And... Trigger.
Figs, Delano, and Trigger. Trigger hasn't scored this season.
I'm just saying, I got no idea.
Hey, go, Jimmy.
So, would you say Delano?
You got to say yes.
Yeah.
I'm only giving it to you if you get all 3.
Oh,
Otherwise, no one gets it.
Well, Jimmy's
No, I know that.
Jimmy's got 1 chance.
I've got one chance.
It's 11 o'clock, man.
Relax.
Time's
Who's
ticking.
there? Bell. What did you say? Bell?
10, 9,
9.
8, 7,
Oh, it's got to be Geordie.
3.
So who's your 3?
Geordie, Delano, and
Darren Lockyer.
Forrester.
Forrester.
Wrong. Wrong.
You had it. It was Jordan, Delano, and Connor.
And Connor. I said Bell at the
you-
start.
I thought he's on 5 goals.
You're on 5. Okay, well, Sports TG
Ah.
is... Sports TG is
Out.
wrong. I apologise, Geordie.
Oh, commentates them every week as well, mate.
Unbelievable. All right, well, no one got that anyway, so... Preston's.
Yeah.
All right, last
Yeah.
question. Last question. I'm going to let you all answer for this, so you don't have to buzz in.
Okay.
Preston's Miri Nishimura of the women's team
Yeah.
has scored 4 goals so far this season. How many of those 4 have come from outside the box?
Right.
Yeah.
All 4.
I was going to say all 4.
3.
Tommy is correct. 3 out of the 4, and
Yeah,
Tommy
so I
wins
set it up.
the quiz.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Congratulations to Tommy Pitchkovsky, and congratulations to...
2. Show him the camera.
That's Angela.
Angela.
Yes.
And
I'm never going to hear the end of
As
this
you are us.
So
dinner,
your
mate.
brother's best mate.
Yeah,
You've
and I
swapped,
swapped him with Tommy as
swapped.
well. Yeah.
and you've done him out of a third kit. Congratulations
I'll get
to
another one.
Ange. Well, that's the first edition of the Lions Den quiz. I hope you liked it.
Yeah, it was good.
Very
It's pretty fun.
Enjoyed
I think your edition of the meows and grunts was probably the winner.
The
there.
highlight.
Yeah. Oh, do I get a free jersey for that?
Absolutely not. That's your job as a host to make the show entertaining, mate.
That's it.
Oh, Josh, on Saturday. Oh, do you want to let them know about Saturday?
Yeah. Saturday, 8 p.m. kickoff at CB Smith against Brunswick City. Make sure you get down and support. It's basically a home game. CB Smith is 700 metres away from BT Connor, so there's no excuse not to come down.
Got the
boys,
Trundle wheel,
Should
eh?
be decent crowd. Should be decent.
Absolutely.
Should be decent.
And the
crowd.
reserves on at 6 o'clock as well.
6
Yep.
p.m.
Decent crowd.
Fantastic. All right, gents, it's been an absolute pleasure. We're going to have to get you on again before the end of the season because that was sensational.
Great
fun.
Josh. Thanks for having
Thank
us.
you for having
yeah?
us. Appreciate it.
No,
Appreciate it.
A pleasure is all mine. We'll sign off here. If you missed any of today's show, you can watch it back on the live stream, or you can hit up the FNR podcast platforms for the full replay.
Yes. Get the 3 points, boys. Yes.
All right, go Preston. Thanks, gents.
That's it. Thank you.
Fuck.
Near post City. It's in. And again, Warren Speak has a hand in it. Andrew Zinni scores the goal. Not only are the fans winning on the terraces, the team are winning on the pitch. 2 goals in 2 minutes. 2-1 up, Preston Macedonia, and we've got an invasion on.
Comes out with the ball. Berishovic destroying. Oh! What a goal! Get out of here! That is outrageous! Stop! Carl Berishovic! Get around it! Writes his name in Preston folklore!
It's the winner. What a great goal by Kukulevsky. The crowd has gone wild, ladies and gentlemen. The Preston Lions are the Premiership champions.
Skinderovic! Bell! It's there! Preston have done it!
Through ball for Spink. He's in the box. Back for Cole. Cole square. Here's a chance for Smith. Smith, yes, it's there. Spink, Cole, Smith. Smith doing the damage. 1-0.